Welcome to episode number 4 of the J Bunny's Music Hub podcast. I'm your host, J Bunny. Now, about 3 weeks ago, as you know, if you've been listening, I went to the Stanhope House in Stanhope, New Jersey for Seas of Wake's farewell show. And one of the other bands on the show, the opening band of the show, was a band I've been following for a while called Thanatotic Desire. So while I was at the show, I interviewed Will, their bassist and singer, and their drummer Dave joined the interview as well. It was great to have those guys on. I get to catch up on a lot of stuff with them. They were around a while before I knew who they were, so that was one of the questions I asked, was to sort of tell me about where they were before I knew about them. So you'll hear that. They'll talk about the new album that they've got ready to go but isn't out yet. There's a lot with those guys. Got about an hour here of interview. Really well done, I think. Not saying that I did well, but I feel like this interview went really smoothly. Will answered a lot of my questions before I had the chance to ask them, so you don't hear me asking too much because Will beat me to it a lot of the time. But I think that made for a really great conversation because I didn't have to ask too much. So without further ado, here's Will and Dave.
All right, what's up? It's Jay Bunny. I am still here at Stanhope House in Stanhope, New Jersey. And right now I am sitting down with Will Winton and
Dave Frech
from Thanatotic Desire.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having us.
So I have, first things first, I gotta know how you guys came up with your band name and what is the proper way to pronounce your band name.
All right. This is a common question. I actually haven't been asked in a very formal format in quite some time, so thank you for asking. Thanatotic Desire. The root word is thanatos, which has multiple definitions. We like to take the Sigmund Freud psychological definition, which is basically the inner will to die. Most of us, in a fight or flight situation, we choose to fly and run away. Fighting has its risks. Dying has its risks. To put it simple, if you do something like skydiving, you're jumping out of can I curse?
Yeah.
You're jumping out of a fucking plane with no risk, no thought of living. Like, you know damn well if anything goes wrong, splat. But you don't care because you're there for the thrill. You're living life without the fear of death.
Okay.
So it's not suicidal because I try to get shit done. So if I was suicidal, you'd be reading my obituary.
Yeah.
Thanatotic Desire is more about living life without fearing death and not having fear moving forward to do things for fun. It's all about quality of life.
Okay. That's cool. I was looking at the spelling too. Like I said, the correct pronunciation has always thrown me off.
We've heard it all.
And I remember too, you've said before, like at other shows, because I've seen you guys a ton.
Oh, dude, we go back, dude.
It's like, look us up on Facebook. It doesn't, as long as you're close, you'll find us.
Pretty much. I don't mean to plug other bands, but I know there's a Thanatopsis. They're way heavier and like crazier than us. We're more the melodic death metal stuff. But they exist. There's a band called Thanatos, which my root word for all of this was Thanatos. That is the definition. So having, you take the adjective from it, Thanatotic Desire.
Yeah.
Like, I want to die, but I don't want to die. I just want to excel, really.
Okay. So you guys first appeared on my radar in about 2012 or 13 when you guys were playing shows, a lot of shows at Dingbats, 40 Below Summer.
Yeah, good times.
And but you guys were around for a long time before that. You guys formed in 2007 from what I can find. So can you tell me a bit about the period of time before I knew about you?
Oh, I like this, yeah. Thanatotic Desire started with, actually, I'm glad I have Dave with me here. Because we started this band. I had this band before this called The Villa Tragedy. And our drummer actually recently just passed away, Ryan Heisler.
Oh, I saw your post. I didn't.
Yeah, Ryan Heisler was our drummer for that band. He was a good guy. He passed away young, but we all had, me and my last guitarist, Rich Guadagno, had this vision of just melodic metal that has heavy stuff yet catchy stuff at the same time. We wanted to bring the crunch, but we wanted to keep it melodic. That was the initial vision, and I'm going circa 2006 was when Villa Tragedy was doing its thing. We never got too big or anything in the local scene. We played a few shows here or there, never really broke out as opposed to the bands I was in prior to that. So I was really trying to get a drummer who wanted to do more and do the touring, do the hard work, someone who's got financial capabilities like the rest of us, so we can all go in on, when you're starting a band, you need to put money into it,
right.
Just like a business. And a friend of mine, Anna, put me in touch with Dave.
Yeah, we have a mutual friend. I was down on vacation with a friend of mine at her beach house, and she brought one of her friends from her college, which was Anna DiNardo.
Anna DiNardo Smith.
Yes.
Old friend.
So we got to talking, and she's like, "Oh, I know this guy who's trying to start a band. Let me call him." And this was on a Saturday, and she called him right then and there, put me on the phone with him. We got to talk, and he's like, hey, and so Will was like, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" I'm like, "Come on up, let's do this."
All right.
And basically, Thanatotic Desire was born, and
that was the start of Thanatotic Desire.
It was the fall of 2007.
It's probably like late
fall.
August.
Yeah, it was late August, September of 2007 is when me and Rich and an old singer, Chris, who was the singer of the Villa Tragedy, came up to Dave, and we jammed for the first time on some of the old songs and a couple songs we didn't do that ended up being, some of our early songs like Blood of Another, Tomorrow Never Came.
Yep. So. And then at that point, we jammed together for probably about 2 to 3 months.
Yeah,
and that's when I was like, "Hey man, you really got to see my buddy Ben. He's my guitarist."
Yeah, I needed to add more. I needed to add either a lead guitarist or a keyboard. I do recall pushing keyboard a lot in the beginning because I come from a very power metal, melodic metal background,
right?
And there's keyboards and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The versatility, you could add orchestra. We've only utilized that in the studio, but Dave was like, "Nah, dude, I got this guy who plays guitar," and he brought Ben in.
Yeah.
And his audition was quick as shit. Ben boy's like, "Well, what do you want me to play?" I was like, "I don't know, show off for a minute." He's just like, "Boo!"
Yeah, no, I remember. I totally.
Something like that.
Yeah, I totally remember Rich being like, "So you got any tricks?"
Yeah, that was
and he's like, "What he did like this crazy stuff, and they were impressed, and that was it.
Yeah, we brought Ben in pretty fucking immediate.
Yeah,
he's more of like a thrash speed metal background.
Yeah,
he's in a Cannibal Corpse and Slayer and everything. And so when we started writing songs together, he started writing things with the melodic approach in mind, like something to basically meet what me and Rich were, the goal of the band at the time.
Right.
So we came up with I think the first couple songs he wrote was like DDD, Solitary Confinement.
Yep.
This is about 2009. We got into the studio a little bit. There was this little studio next to our rehearsal studio, Jam Studios, where we did like a couple songs and got our first taste of recording and stuff like that. It's awful. But then we went back and refined it, and we got like a 5-song EP. It was a 5-song EP that we called the DDD EP, and DDD stands for Death, Decay, and Destruction, which is Sigmund Freud's definition. It's the primal urge for death, decay, and destruction. That is the Thanatos of everybody. Everyone has this in them.
Okay.
So that was part of the message right from the beginning that we went in with. Hey, we got David Zeck walking in here on our podcast.
Hey, what's up, Dave?
I already did one time.
What's
I'm
another?
just going to stay here because I need a break.
It's all good. It's all good. A breather. So that was 2009, and we used to give that CD out in paper sleeves.
Yep.
We gave it to everyone. We were driving the street someday. We see some dude in an Iron Maiden shirt. Yo, hey buddy, you like metal? Whoosh, whip, throw it. Hey, ow. Oh, okay, cool. I'll check this out. Then you see Facebook, or actually back then it was MySpace. MySpace, get a friend. Like, oh, cool. Whoa, we're so cool. So that was 2009. let's see. You said you started hearing us about 2012.
Well,
12, yeah.
2009, we were starting to go into the studio to start to record.
Well, 2009 is
Death Wish.
when DDD came out, when the full thing came
that's
out.
when we were doing Death Wish. When we went actually into
was
backroom
more-
studios with Kevin and
That was
Treason.
more like 2010, 11, because it came out in 11.
Yeah, but we were in the studio recording for.
Well, what happened? Yeah, we were. What happened was in around that time after the first EP came out, and that the lineup was myself doing vocals and bass, Dave doing drums, Ben doing lead guitar, and my old friend Rich Cudagno playing rhythm guitar.
Right.
So what happened was I came down with pneumonia, like a vicious case where I contracted it 4 times within 2 years.
Jesus.
I had it twice a year. I was unable to sing a lot of stuff because it's like every other freaking week. I'm hacking. I was like, dude, I gotta do something. So before the Villa Tragedy, before Thanatotic Desire, I was in a band called Slaughter for Sanity.
Right.
All right, and that consisted of myself and the members of my high school band, Shrapnel. But they had a singer. They had a guy named Tom Gilmartin.
Right.
And Slaughter for Sanity evolved on its own as Thanatotic Desire evolved on its own, and he ended up parting ways with them. So I get a phone call after like turning down a bunch of gigs because my voice is fucked and I didn't want to take them. He calls me up, yo, my band fucking is done, Slaughter for Sanity's done. I'm fucking pissed. I'm like, dude, how'd you like to sing for me? Because I can't physically sing right now and I need somebody. So I brought Tom Gilmartin in to sing for us. So that's when we went into the studio.
Yeah.
And Rich was kind of involved in that. Rich just had a kid at this point, so he was going through a lot of financial and personal things. We gave him a lot of time to try to sort it out, hoping that we could move forward and, do the local band grind, which is not cheap. It's time consuming.
Yeah.
There's no money. And people with kids can't exactly do that. So
Tell me about it. I've got 2 of them.
I understand. So we came to an agreement. He quit, and we performed as a 4-piece where we didn't have a second guitarist,
Right.
but we had a second singer.
Right.
I was still doing about 40% of the vocals through this, doing backups mostly.
Yeah.
So at that point, we recorded everything, and this guy, Anthony, I'm going to call him first. This is 2010. This is 2010.
Yeah.
2010, this guy, Anthony, he's a friend of ours. He started learning all our songs. He's like, dude, check this out. He starts playing, I don't remember.
He kept coming to
Metal
all the
Never
shows.
Sleeps. He's playing all this stuff from Death Wish. We're like, dude, right on, man. Like, shit, we do need a second guitarist. It would make it sound fuller. We actually held auditions and had a number of guys come through. Guys who moved on to other bands, we still see in the scene. It's pretty cool. But
It was at backstage.
we had a nice open audition. I was actually pretty happy to see how many people showed up for it.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
That was good.
But we went with this guy Mace. Well, Anthony, as he was known back then. I didn't have too many friends named Anthony, so he was in need of a nickname. And there's the Mace story, which I'm not going to get into it too deep right now. He should really tell the story, but he hit himself in the face with a fucking medieval weapon, knocked out 2 teeth, got a bunch of stitches, cracked his jaw open.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was bad. Yeah,
Yeah, it was really bad. If you
And
buy
that was like-
Death Wish,
That was like 2 o'clock in the morning. His girlfriend then made him go to the hospital, so she took him to the hospital.
who are these guys?
And on the ride to the hospital, he gave us a call, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "Hey, I just wanted to know if I was in the band."
Am I in the band?
So we kind of gave her, we looked
like-
around at each other for a minute, and we were like, yeah, you're in.
I was like, I don't know, Anthony.
So
Like,
at that point,
you didn't learn all the songs. All right. Like, we kind of, before that even happened, we were like, yeah, he's in the band, but we didn't say it.
Yeah.
And we just finished recording an album, and it was going to cost too much money to bring him in to redo Death Wish. So, like, there's 4 tracks of Ben, at times 6 or 8 tracks of Ben on Death Wish. But the band picture, Mace is on there.
Okay.
And when you open the CD and you take the CD out, behind the CD you'll see a 3-ball flail with blood splattered all over the pavement.
that is the real picture of the aftermath of what happened when Mace took the mace to the face.
Mace to the face! So yeah, like shortly
and
after that we just called him Mace.
And if you look carefully enough in that picture, you'll actually see a tooth sitting on the floor covered in blood.
My ex-girlfriend found a tooth. We put it under his bed. No, Ben put it under his bed.
Ben put it under
You know,
his pillow,
maybe the tooth fairy showed up
expecting
some. You never know.
Oh man.
So once we got Mace in the band,
That's
we
when
played
really
for a
started
little.
to move
Yeah, we
forward.
wanted to. We had visions. We wanted to do a lot of things. We started doing a lot of things. We started doing a lot of things. I mean, playing a lot of shows. 2011, we played the Summer Slaughter Festival with Black Dahlia Murder and oh my God, there's so as Blood Runs Black.
Yeah,
Power
it was
Glove.
going to ask, how did that come about?
It was insane. Oh, we were just. I was in touch with Starland Ballroom through my old band Slaughter for Sanity, so I've had the connection. I've had a nice repertoire with them, and they put us up. They put us up before that. Actually, they put us up at 40 Below Summer and God Forbid. That was the first time we played Starland. And
Right, which I was telling
might have
you.
been, we probably met at that show.
I was gonna tell you.
Not
I was
knowing who
telling
we
you
were.
earlier. I have a ticket stub for that show, 40 Below Summer, God Forbid, October 2nd, 2010.
2010. Okay.
It was the day before my birthday.
Okay.
And I must have bought, I like I said, I wasn't aware of you guys until 2012. I guess it didn't really
whores,
click
dude.
in my
We
head
were
then. But
everywhere.
someone must have sold me a ticket in the parking lot because you
I would
only
do that.
get the local band's name on the ticket if you bought it.
You
from
bought
them.
it from them, their stash. I mean, we were, still are. I mean, we all have day jobs and lives, but like I try to, what I call guerrilla marketing. It works way better than any Facebook campaign you run.
Yeah.
Like you go out there to the people. In my opinion, you get more productivity printing out a stack of flyers with your band's name and maybe a couple of internet links, maybe a song, and giving them out at a show than you do anything on Facebook.
Right.
I mean, Facebook events are basically a joke. People stop paying attention to that stuff. It's so flooded. And in order to get any attention, you gotta pay money. You know, you look at all our social medias. Instagram's really where it's at. You know, we get plenty of attention on Instagram. Facebook, we used to get plenty of attention, but unless I spend money on it, pretty much buried in everyone's posts.
Yeah, that's how I any of those contests that I run. Like I just ran a contest to give away an extra copy of Seas Awake, Depth of the Marrow that I had,
Nice.
and I had to pay to make sure that the reach got out.
Otherwise, nobody sees it. And like you can look at the insights. They provide that information
Yeah.
for you, and they'll give you paid reach,
Yep.
organic reach. It's like I remember a day when if a couple thousand people liked your band's page, a couple thousand people would see your band's post.
Right.
And it's a shame that social media has gone that way. Like we started with MySpace, went through Facebook. We have our .com, Thanatotic, TOTIC, Thanatoticdesire.com, which has all the information you could ask for. I'm actually, upon a lot of people's requests, I am building our Bandcamp at this moment,
Okay.
which we never really had. I bought the name, or not bought the name, but registered the name. It's just been blank.
Right. Yeah. The website is where I got a lot of the information when I
good.
featured you guys on the Daily Discovery when I was doing all Mayhem bands.
Yeah,
and
I
I
remember
got
you reaching
into-
out for that. That was
Right.
cool.
Yeah. A lot of the information was pulled from that website.
Try to put, we have like your short biography. We got our life story up there too. I don't know if it's been a while. I don't know if the Mace story's on there. Mace story's good for interviews. It's much better when he's there because he's got. If you've ever seen us live, you can tell our guitar players have insane energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are just, a lot of people comment on our stage performance, so I got to attribute that to Mace. But, let's go back to still getting back on track to answering the question. So 2010, we were playing 40 Below. 2011, actually, I think 2010, we also played with Guar at Starland for the first time also. And that opened ourselves to a whole new fan base.
Yeah.
And then in 2011, we did the Summer Slaughter. And it was at that time, it was 2011, 2012. It was 2011 where Tom had his first son. And we all started, immediately we started thinking about Rich. Like, well, when Rich had his kid, he wasn't able to do these, hey guys, let's drive to Ohio this weekend. How much you getting paid? Well, not much, but I'm really good friends with these two bands putting on a show.
Right.
So you take these risks. Every local band has done that. That's part of the evolution of being a band. You take a lot of risks.
Right.
Entrepreneurship. Taking the risk for just a chance. But when you have things at stake like family, you can't risk that stuff.
Right. Right.
Dave, myself, Ben, and Mace, we all pretty much have a similar living situation. You know, we can disappear for a month at a time and it'd be okay. We don't have anyone depending on us.
Right.
And it's worked for a long time. So it came to a point where Tom had to step down.
Right.
And I guess doing backups for him for those years that he was with us, I got my voice back. I got it back, and we thought about getting another singer, and I just kind of filled the place just until something happened, and I guess it's just worked, you know. Another person is another person to rely on for practice, rehearsal, shows. It's just like, let's just go back to my voice, and we've been working with Mace on backups, and we've been a 4-piece since 2012.
Okay.
So that brings us, when we got that lineup, we felt this was the time to move forward and do everything we can to get heard.
Right, and then in 2012, you guys played Mayhem.
2012, we played the Battle of the Bands. We won. There was a 2-day contest. One band won one day, another band won the other day.
Yes, and I found
the first band was Thanatotic Desire, and the second band
was Seas of Wake, as I found in the episode I recorded just earlier tonight.
Yes. So that's actually when we met them, and I started hearing about their legacy and how they've been doing their thing. It's like, wow, this is pretty cool. So we go back with them till 2012, and it's only kind of fitting that we're part of their farewell show. You know, they are a staple in the scene, and they've done a lot of work.
Yeah.
And they work really hard, and they put out some good music. So, but so many bands are calling it quits. So many bands.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame, but I totally understand.
Yeah, there was that came up in my interview with Charlie Corletta a couple weeks ago. So Julius Caesar's not really around anymore. Beyond Visible's not really around anymore.
Julius Caesar, unfortunately, I do a podcast with their guitarist Steve, also known as Darth Hater.
Yeah.
Right now, it's been a monthly podcast. We're looking to do more. We got all sorts of nerd stuff. We basically talk about Batman for an hour.
I'll definitely have to check that out then.
We always it's like Batman or Star Wars, and we always end up gravitating to one or the other, but I've actually heard a lot of the unreleased Julius Caesar, and it's amazing.
Yeah, Charlie was telling me the same thing, man.
It's just, you know what, everybody's got lives. I know, their bassist Brian, he's a good friend of mine. He's got kids, so, he needs to choose his time wisely. I totally understand it. That's just how it is. It's just the evolution of bands and musicians, and we're just glad to be part of it with everybody else. We've met tons and tons of friends over the years. Yeah. It's awesome.
So we were mentioning the extensive biography information on your website.
Yeah.
One of the things that was mentioned on the website was you guys were going to be taking some time off in 2015 to try and acquire management and maybe a record deal. How did that go for you?
Well, not too good. That was basically the slump. In 2012, 2013, we put out Silence to Violence. That had a song, Final Breath.
Right.
Final Breath is played all over the country. Like, we didn't expect the hype that we got from it. I mean, merch sales on my store went they skyrocketed. Definitely didn't expect the exposure we got from it. I mean, it got to literally everybody. I've been in conversations personally with Brian Slagle from Metal Blade Records, who knew of us through Sirius XM radio. He knew our song, he knew the CD, he knew who we were. I was like, well, what do I got to do to be on your roster? I mean, you literally are the creator of almost everything I love. What do I got to do to work with you? He goes, well, first off, you released this on your own. You released it on your own, I can't sell it. I can't make money off you. There's nothing I can do. Hit me up when you got something on your own. So I started taking that mentality of, all right, we got this out, a new album. We can't release this until I try to get in touch with every single professional person I know in the industry. And I reached high and low. And, I got great feedback from people who, when we, 2011, we put Death Wish out. I tried shopping the album to many labels. Century Media, Roadrunner, Metal Blade, just Earache. I can keep going. I just, we're upstairs at a club afterwards, and I don't have my notebook. But in Death Wish, I got no response from anybody. When Silence to Violence came out, people heard of us. Final Breath's a solid song. It's a great single. It holds up. It's still, a foundation in metal as far as I'm concerned. I might be a little biased. But we had this album. I tried everything I could, and I started getting responses from people I never did. I got feedback like, you guys are great. I like you, but I don't love you. Keep up the good work. We're not in a position to take a risk on signing new bands at this moment. But, we got a lot of positive feedback. One label, fuck it, whatever. Metal Blade Records compared us to Battlecross, who's on their roster.
Right.
And we played plenty of shows with Battlecross. We've done a little regional stuff with them. We played, Delaware, Reading, Pennsylvania, Dingbat. We did a few shows with those guys. They're awesome. And I got to meet their manager through Jose. I got to meet Velda, and she's always giving me guidance and suggestions and stuff whenever I need peer review for any things I'm trying to do. I always run it by her. She's got a lot of knowledge, and she's done so much with the bands that she works with. But she's located in Detroit. Mm-hmm. Or Flynn, really. But,
it's still not Jersey.
It's not Jersey, And we're always talking about relocating, because when we traveled with Whiplash, we noticed things like, the West Coast is a different world. They love what we do. We play a lot of hardcore shows in Philly, and what are these guys doing with their guitar solos? Where's the breakdown? Sorry, we're, I don't know, I guess the media calls us melodic thrash, death, whatever. We're metal. We have guitar solos, headbang.
Yeah.
So, I got a lot of not negative, positive feedback, but basically declined at every opportunity. So I said, you know what? We took a lot of time, and a lot of time trying to market that stuff took away from live performances, recording, writing new music. So there was a couple years from Silence of Violence to now where not much happened.
Right.
We toured, we've gone international.
But we spent about 2 years back and forth into the studio and recording a new album. We have pretty much all the songs put together.
This album's ready. This album's ready to drop.
We just haven't released it yet. So we do have new music ready to go. It's just we're just trying to figure out the best way to make it happen in our benefit.
Right. Which I think, because everybody said no, I think the best thing is the label that I decided to start, Doc Watch Hollow Entertainment.
Which
that's got to be on your list.
It is. I was going to say, tell me a bit about that.
When everybody says no, I say, well, it's coming out anyway, and I'd like to put a name on all the hard work that I do for, CD layouts, manufacturing. There's a lot that goes into that that's not touching a bass guitar or singing any notes.
Right.
So, Doc Watch Hollow Entertainment can go as far back as my high school band, right? Burning CDs, wrapping them in paper. When Thanatotic Desire first started putting out the DDD EP,
we got a burner tower just to make them.
What was that, Dave? Say a little louder.
We went and got a burning tower to just mass produce CDs.
What was it, like 7 or 8 drives?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
7 or 8 drives, CD tower.
7 CDs out.
You put a master in on top, bunch of blanks. We just hang out, work on his cars, work on his motorcycle, hang out. 7 CDs ready, and we put them in black sleeves. And I used to print out labels, so we'd have it on. And we put a lot of work into that stuff, and we just gave them out for exposure.
Right.
Yeah. So, I've heard a lot of people say things like, "Oh, I have this CD. It's 8 years old, but it doesn't work anymore." Because I guess we were poor, so we're going for budget CDRs too.
Yeah.
Which I guess they don't hold up to the standard of time. Which prompted me, and see, Doc Watch Hollow Entertainment isn't just myself. It's also a vision of my friend Will Rosen, who was a friend I grew up with, who's friends with our founding member, Rich Guadagno, the old guitarist.
Right.
We all kind of came up together in Warren, New Jersey, where there's a road called Doc Watch Hollow. That's all it means. That's all it means. So we decided to name it after that, and he was saying, hey, you should re-release your first CD. Why the hell am I going to do that? I hate going backwards. These guys will tell you. Anytime they want to play something in the first CD, I fight it. No, we can't be going backwards. We got to go forwards. Well, people still like this stuff. Yeah, you're right. So we decided that a lot of people are kind of requesting it, so we re-released the DDD EP, which is only recently for sale again.
Right.
And I think I'm selling it for $3.
Yeah.
$3.
Yeah.
$3 for our very amateur CD from 2009.
6 songs.
6 songs. 5 or 6 songs, I don't remember.
All right.
It's all right.
But well, so you still found opportunity though. You guys played in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, something about the more you start pursuing label interest, you start going, well, why do you need a label? Well, every band on a label gets on huge tours, gets huge support, gets huge press coverage. There's a lot of resources at hand that labels have that most local or regional bands just don't have. I became good friends with the program director at SiriusXM, Jose Mangan, who introduced me to a lot of people. And I'm the kind of person, when I meet people, I try to make a connection. Hey, I'm Will. I play in this band, Thanatotic Desire. I'm trying to be heard. Who are you? And I met a lot of people, and they give me a lot of guidance. So we were still able to do things. And I started looking at the label thing as, the last band, let me see if I recall correctly. I remember, I don't want to drop names, but I remember seeing a very large metal label sign a new band, and the first thing you see them doing is the GoFundMe or Kickstarter to raise 10 grand so they can go on tour. And I look at that and I'm like, you know what? If this was 1995, you get signed to a label, you get a sign-on bonus, you get dropped on a tour. With that bonus, you can afford your merchandise, your tour rig, stuff to travel.
Right.
And we're very self-dependent. When we make money from our merchandise, we reinvest it into our recordings. Or what we ended up doing was buying a van. So Thanatotic Desire owns a van that we didn't utilize until 2012, 2013. So you want to talk about the opportunities. One of the first opportunities, I got a cousin. He's up in a band in Connecticut called Head Wrench, my cousin Scott. All right, there's an opportunity. Let's go to Connecticut. What do we got to lose? They'll give us gas money. We get to play to a whole different crowd. So we started doing that. Got a little buzz. Some people in Massachusetts heard about it. Hey, I run this place called Silk City. I want you to come up here. All right, how can I do that? I don't want to just go up to Massachusetts. So I hit up my cousin again. We book a gig in Connecticut. We book a gig in Massachusetts. I got family in Vermont. And we also got a friend in New Hampshire who's got a spot. So we kind of laid up long weekends. Boom, boom, boom. We got a place to crash. We got, a warm place to sleep. We get food in our stomach. Get to play a bunch of shows. Come home, go to work. So we're kind of taking like a working man's approach to touring.
Yeah.
But we'll take our time when we need to. And that happened. We the first tour I booked, I booked us across the Northeast, all through New England, went up to Montreal, through Toronto, came back through Michigan, Ohio, Pittsburgh, and back home. We were out for a couple weeks.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun, but I also blew my voice for the first time on that tour in the middle of Canada, just staying up with the boys and drinking with the boys and not taking care of my voice. So I learned a lot myself that tour, hey, you don't take care of your voice as a singer, you're going to have some problems.
Yeah.
So I pull these diva moves and go to bed at 10 p.m. They all make fun of me, but hey, I can sing consecutively. So that was one of the first. It wasn't so much of an opportunity as much as just coincidental connections that kind of lined up, and it's all right, let's make this happen. So it made a nice run, and we were gone for a couple weeks. We came home, and we played a gig at Dingbats, and Tony Portaro from 80s legend Whiplash, they saw us, and they loved us. And ever since then, he's a very good friend of ours, and he took us out to the West Coast. He's like, hey guys, I got 3 gigs in California. Yeah. If you guys can get there, I want to put you on the package. We're going to be playing the Whiskey A Go-Go. We're going to play the Observatory. We're going to play the Oakland, Oakland Metro, Oakland Theater.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's oh shit, guys, we got to get to California. So that's when we bought the van. And it's how can we book ourselves down there? A lot of stuff on last minute kind of fell through, but we did a couple private shows in Texas. We booked a show in Juarez, Mexico.
Oh, wow.
So this is making our second international gig. Promoter got in touch with us. I ran the promoter's name by some friends I had in California. Everything vouched out. Everything was clear. He wasn't going to kidnap us and rape us and murder us and sell our organs on the Mexican black market. Which, let me tell you, when you tell people you're going to Juarez, Mexico, you start getting a lot of people who listen to the media too much. And, people, friends...
Not even though, man, because when we were down there, we were talking to a lot of these people, and they're like, yeah, it definitely happened.
It does. It does.
But, they also said that at the time that we were getting there, things had started to actually turn around and get a little bit better, and the people were starting to take back.
Yeah, but like 5 years ago,
back the city
from what I understand, the Americans gave guns to all the cartels so they can figure shit out, and didn't go so well. So Mexico is not a good place to go to, especially right over the border there from El Paso to Juarez. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you right now, when we played that show, that is possibly definitely one of the most grateful crowds and grateful group of human beings who've ever heard our music that I've ever come across. These guys were so heartfelt with what they had to say and just so grateful that we would show up to perform for them. Yeah. I felt like I was in an Iron Maiden DVD playing in Brazil. It was literally that kind of gratitude. You don't get that as a local band.
Yeah, everybody was coming up to us after the show and giving us hugs and everything.
We weren't even off stage.
And this is in Mexico.
This is in Juarez.
Mexico, in Juarez, and they were telling us their stories and all this other stuff about
horrible life stories about families crossing.
They were such grateful. Can I take one of these?
I don't know who those.
It's a water.
Yeah.
David Zeck says yes.
All right.
He's on record. He's on record.
But yeah, those are some of the most grateful people, man. A lot of them were in tears telling us their life stories and all this other stuff that was going on. And
even though it was right over the border.
It was amazing. I will say that.
Even though it was right over the border. You look at a map, you look at El Paso to Juarez, it's a mile. No distance, basically. They're twin cities. But it was a different country, hands down. And
totally different.
Like Dave said, man, people had tears in their eyes telling us their life stories. Yeah. And, we've all... I'm still in touch with the promoter who put on that. And the whole thing, he wanted to put us on 4 dates, but we can only afford the one day. Not afford it, but we only had time for the one day.
Yeah.
They took care of us on everything. It was one of the best things we ever booked. So I would love to repeat that again and do a little more extensive touring in that area.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know what, I've looked at heavy metal as such a local thing. You get stuck in this local rut. This is a very big world. And with things like the internet, you can get into a lot of people's ears. So heavy metal is just not popular. It's not top stuff in the United States. But when we dropped down to Mexico, it was a different world.
Yeah.
Canada.
Even Montreal.
Even Canada. I mean, they lived it. They breathed it. We played right on Rue St. Catherine. That's the red light district. I mean... People talk tons of stories about that area. We played at the Piranha Bar. It was amazing. Fun stuff, man. Yeah. We hooked up with our friends Skies Beneath, who met Mace through some internet, I think, chat roulette. Yeah, I believe that's what happened.
Chat roulette.
Mace is on chat roulette, met some guy playing guitar. They started talking. He's in a metal band. We're in a metal band. Next thing I know, I'm going to fucking Montreal.
But hey, man, you never know. You make connections anywhere and everywhere, You never know who's going to give you what opportunities or what you can do for somebody else.
And no one opportunity is going to do anything major. You have to take all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to build it.
So you played when you came out of Mexico, you went to the California show with
Whiplash.
Whiplash.
We headed up, We headed up towards California. The first show was in Santa
Ana, California, at the Observatory, where Jose Mangan does his metal nights now.
Nice.
And if you recall, back in the day, here on the East Coast, he was doing them at Dingbats.
Yeah.
Yep.
I keep seeing his posts, and I posted the other day. I was like, "Dude, you're really making me want to move closer to you."
Every time, last I saw him, I saw him at the Revolver Music Awards out here.
Did I see you there? Because I was there.
Yep, okay. I saw you there. And he's just telling me all this awesome stuff. I'm like, yeah, I really got to come out there. He's like, let me know, dude. I'll put you up. We'll hang out. Put you in the studio. Da, da, da. It's like, oh. Dude, he is the most gracious.
Dude, he did that for me right before he moved.
He is such a nice guy.
Right before he moved, I ran into him at the Wellmont Theater. He was there. Hell Yeah was playing with Godsmack, and so he was there to see Hell Yeah, and he was playing. He'd already announced that he was moving, and I was like, dude, we got to do something before you leave. And he's like, oh, come to the studio. And I thought I was just going to just hang in the studio, and that was enough.
that serious?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's like, come hang at
Been there a
the
couple
Sirius
times. It's so
Studios
cool.
in New York, and I thought that was all it was going to be was to fucking hang out. He
never
brings
that.
brings me into his office. He gives me all these fucking CDs and posters.
Did you have the Jaeger machine?
Yeah, I don't know. We did do shots of Jaeger, and we also drank some beer. But he put me on air. So you want to go on air? I was like, do I want to what?
Yeah. Dude.
Yes, of course I do.
He loves it. Oh man, dude, he's the most metal human being I know.
And so he put me on. We were on for, I think it was about 7 minutes because he had Sean emailed him the clip, and then he emailed it to me. I still have it.
Sean the Butcher.
Sean the Butcher,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
And
Cool, dude.
so we went on the air, and he gave me a bunch of free shit, and it was more than I could have hoped for, man. I was just
Jose's the best host in the world, man. I've been to a couple of his parties. He gives. He's the nicest person in the world, and he's so blessed to have what he has. He's such a hard worker. He's worked literally tooth and nail to be where he is.
yeah.
My man Jose.
I told him when I was there, and I continue to repeat it to anybody that'll listen. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, not to say that I want to be somebody else, but what he does
He's
is
got
what
a
I want
dream
to
job,
do.
man. He's got a dream job.
You know,
Yep.
that's why I started this. You know,
Hell yeah. No, and thanks again for having us part of this.
Yeah,
I
man.
saw when you did Charlie, I was like, man, that's really cool. And you've already talked to me about this.
yeah.
So I saw it in action. I was like, all right, yeah, it's got to happen sooner or later.
Yeah.
So glad this
So-
all works out.
Yeah, man. So you guys played in California with Whiplash. Is that how you guys got eventually to Japan?
Well,
Our
Whiplash.
friendship with Whiplash basically is what got us to Japan.
Yeah.
So what happened with that was it was out in Osaka, Japan. It's called the True Thrash Fest, and basically Whiplash was already signed on to this show, and Venom was also signed on
Venom
to this
Inc.
show.
Venom Inc.
Venom Inc. So basically, what happened was a week and a half before the show, Venom Inc. dropped off. So Japan put the call out to all these different bands that were playing the show to send them bands that could possibly do this, possibly make this happen.
They asked Whiplash, hey, can you bring a support act? We need to know. They also asked Frank Blackfire from Sodom, can you bring a support act? They're German. Can you bring one? We'll let you know. I got a call at like 3 in the morning on a Saturday night, Sunday morning from Tony. Now, I figured he might have been... I know Ben went out that night to kind of see Whiplash, so I thought maybe Ben and Tony were hanging out drinking late and they wanted to fuck with me. But, I get a call from Tony Whiplash. I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing, man? I'm asleep, dude. I go to sleep early. And he's like, hey, I need to know, can you go to Japan on Wednesday? Can Thanatotic Desire go to Japan on Wednesday? I need to know right now. I'm talking to Japan. I'm like, wait, huh, what? It took me like 15 minutes to kind of wake up to be like, oh!
To understand what the hell's going on.
Holy shit! All right, well, what do we gotta do? Oh no, they'll pay for everything. You'll be all right. They'll get you a hotel. Like, hold on, Tony. I can't. It is 3 in the morning. I can't speak for my band at this hour. Can you give me 12 hours? Yeah, but I need. No later. I need to know. All right, it's a soft yes because I'm pretty sure when I pitch this, everyone's gonna drop everything and go. All right. I get a call later. Hey, Will, I'm pretty sure the German band is going to take the offer. So, thank you for being able to do this. But, maybe next time. I was like, fuck. Damn, that would have been cool. So, all right, Tony, thanks for the opportunity. Hey, it's not me. It's the True Thrash Festival. They're putting this on. All right, cool. 10 a.m. Monday, my phone goes off. Will, the German guys can't go. We need Thanatotic Desire to go. We're leaving Wednesday. Let me know what's going on. Whoa. My head spun so much. I didn't even... It's unreal.
Yeah.
It's unreal, so...
I work for Mazda at a dealership. I'm one of the lead techs over there. So he sends me a text at about 11 o'clock. Now, I get into work at about 9 o'clock, and I told my boss, I said, listen, I'm just letting you know now, there's a slight possibility that I might be going to Japan, like, real soon. He's like, when? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe
Wednesday?
in a week? Maybe? I don't know. So he's like, all right, that's insane.
That is insane.
What? No,
on paper, that is insane. Nobody does
totally
this.
didn't believe it. So 11 o'clock, I get a text from Will. We're going to Japan. Holy shit. I tell my boss, hey, I'm going to Japan. He's like, when are you leaving? Wednesday. Morning? He's like, you're going to be here on Wednesday?
No.
I said, no. I'm leaving in the morning on Wednesday. He's like, what the heck? Oh my God. So he got all pissed off. He's like, I'm just letting you know I don't condone this. Like you're not allowed to go.
Dave's
I said,
don't care.
you know what? I'm going. So whatever happens, happens. Now I've been in Mazda Tech for 17 years.
Yeah, they're not going to let Dave go. I work at a machine
left.
shop. I had a similar scenario. Monday morning, I was like, man.
You get the opportunity to go to Japan. You don't say no.
Right.
You
Yeah.
get the opportunity to do anything big like that, whether it's Japan or not. You don't say no.
Yeah.
No, and we had the opportunity. We went. We had to pull some string because when we went to Mexico and Canada, you can get this thing called a passport card, which allows you to go. It allows you to drive to continental North America.
Okay.
So you can drive to Canada. You can drive to Mexico. You can't fly
Right.
with this. It's a card. It's like a license on steroids.
Yeah.
But you can't fly out of country. You can't go to Europe. You can't go to Asia. You need a real passport for that.
Yeah.
So Ben Mace had already gone on a vacation and had his real passport. Ben, on the other hand, did not have it, and we had to panic last minute to
Yeah.
get his passport. And there was a slight chance we'd have a temporary guitar player with us for that. And it was actually my buddy Nick from Lethal Affection.
Okay.
At the time, it's like, well, who the hell can drop everything and go? And Nick came in. He learned all our songs. It was awesome. We had a backup. And it was like, he came with us to all the meetings. It's like a big, lots of maybes Monday, Tuesday. And then like Wednesday, it was like, no, Ben can make it. All right, we got Thanatotic Desire. It's on.
Yep. So we went.
Yeah.
It was a great time, man. And again, those people over there,
They were
very appreciative.
extremely,
of us
just
being
like
there
Mexico.
And,
I mean, it was different.
It's a good time. It's a total culture shock when you hit
Oh my God.
international.
You're in a different world.
And but it's definitely a good time. We had a good time with it. And if we ever
Great
get opportunities
performance.
to do that again, we're absolutely
Yeah.
going to take
It was a
it.
great performance. I mean, the thing about merchandise is interesting over there. They won't purchase stuff from a band online. They knew who we were. It was unreal. They knew who Thanatotic Desire was because this is just after talking to so many people, I find out why. All right. Thanatotic Desire. Yeah, you forgot about it. Thanatotic Desire was on a lot of bills with Whiplash, Blood Feast, Hobbs, Angel of Death. We played this big Rage of Armageddon festival in Brooklyn. So there was this flyer going around, and a couple of those bands have already done the True Thrash Festival. So they're seeing these flyers, and as true music fans, these guys in Japan are looking at it, they're like, wow, there's 10 bands on this bill. I love these two. They check them all out.
That's awesome.
And they love them. So the first thing that blew my fucking mind, and I wish Mace was here to help tell the story, but we get off the plane, we get to this hotel. I'm so tired. Ben and Mace are drunk from airplane whiskey. They went out partying, but I just needed a Red Bull to kind of like relax. I'm physically addicted to Red Bull. It's a problem.
Okay.
But that's regardless. Me and Mace go to the corner store. Basically, it's a convenience store on the corner, and the clerk is probably like 20, and he looks at us. He goes, "Oh, metal never sleeps." I almost shit myself right then and there. I am literally across the fucking globe, and there's this kid who just looks at me and just chants my one of our songs' names. I was just unbelievable. And he looks at me and he's like, "Oh, singer, bass player." Looks at Mace, "Guitar, yeah." Well, we didn't know what to do. He was like, "Yeah, everybody's looking forward to this festival that was going on." So he just happened to work there and just happened to know us. It was just like that. And it was that was culture shock 1 right off the plane in the hotel. And we knew right then and there it was going to be a great time.
Yeah, I remember the sort of last minuteness of it all again because remember
was very sudden.
you guys had a show booked at Dingbats that you had to cansel in order to go to Japan.
Yeah, we actually it was somewhat of a comeback show.
Yeah.
Because this was right after that period where we were shopping to the labels and looking for management and had a lot of low period.
Right.
So it's like, all right, this will be great. We had a show at Dingbats with a bunch of friends, and it was supposed to be a comeback. And well, I called Donna that night. Like, we've had a great repertoire with that club for years. I've played there in 4 different bands. So I called Donna, and I was like, Donna, hear me out. And I told her the scenario, and she's like, well, oh my God, Will, you got to go to Japan. Don't worry about us here. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. I don't care. You have to go. Don't. You know, they're friends with Whiplash, too. They understood it. So
Yeah.
I felt that. That was like the... Thanatotic Desire's been around for 10 years. We've canceled 2 gigs. That was the second. The first because we had freaking ride issues going down to Trenton. It was awful. But
Blizzard condition.
there was a blizzard, and our van was screwed. It was a wreck.
So how you mentioned Jose? How did you first meet Jose? And you know, I mean, he obviously
Jose
he still
was-
plays you guys. He plays you guys on the air
yeah.
still now.
Oh,
I still hear
yeah.
you guys like on occasion on Liquid Metal. Like, how did you meet him? And how did
He
that
started
sort
hosting
of?
those shows
Other
on
shows
Thursday
at
nights at Dingbats, and he just took a liking to us. He liked the old school approach. He liked the modern screaming. Started hanging out with him, smoking some weed, and next thing you know, I'm getting invited to his daughter's birthday parties and stuff. And
Oh,
you know,
wow.
I mean, him and Melissa are just such great hosts, and they I don't know. I grew up with a lot of rich people, and a lot of the rich people I knew are snotty pieces of shit who feel like they're so much better than people.
Yeah.
I don't like that. We're all human. We're all going to die the same. Him and his wife, they're just so generous and just so nice. And, you know, they will give back so much. I mean, even at shows, I'll see him, the way he gives stuff to fans and stuff. The way he treats his fans is unbelievable. And
Dude,
it's something I feel that I've almost changed my attitude because of him.
He every time I see him, he wants to buy me a beer. I was like, I gotta buy you a beer back at some point. He's like,
No,
no,
I'm
yeah,
good, dude.
Exactly.
I'm good. I got you. What do you need? Modelo? I got you.
That's
it's
pretty much
awesome,
it.
He's a great man.
Definitely a good guy.
So, you had mentioned Slaughter for Sanity, and you just posted a video yesterday.
Oh my God, you are good.
Yeah,
you are real good.
You just posted that video yesterday of when you
Yeah.
guys played at CBGB's.
Yeah, dude.
Until you posted that, I was not familiar with that band. So
Oh,
tell me a
shit.
bit about that band.
Slaughter for Sanity. Oh man, let me tell you about Slaughter for Sanity. To really tell you Slaughter for Sanity, I'm gonna have to go back to high school. Jesus Christ, I'm 32. In high school, I had this band called Shrapnel. It was myself, my friend Caleb Ellison on drums, and my friend Lou Freaky on guitar. It was a 3-piece.
Okay.
Shrapnel, you know, we played places like Hamilton Street Cafe a lot down in Boundbrook, which no longer exists, but a lot of us old people remember it. And we ended up getting our friend Rich Badagno, who was
Who's
the
in
beginning of
Thanatotic.
Thanatotic, to be our second guitarist in this band. Changed drummer a couple times, it did a couple things. I was starting to get into a lot of power metal, and just wasn't... Me and Lou were fighting a lot on direction of where we wanted to do with bands and what we wanted to do, and I quit. So I quit Shrapnel, and I did a power metal band with a couple buddies, where we had this guy, well, it was basically me and this guitarist singing together, doing vocals and stuff. 2 other guitarists, my friend Jarrett and Radek, doing just harmonizing guitar stuff. It was I love power metal. I really genuinely love power metal. Like Gamma Ray, Halloween are some of my favorite bands ever.
Fuck yeah.
So it was like in that esque of like, you know, Painkiller, Judas Priest stuff,
Nice,
inspired.
nice.
I wish I had a recording. I don't.
No, nothing.
No, but songs existed, performances were made. I wish I had evidence. So I went to college for graphic design and then auto mechanics and then music theory. I changed my major a bunch of times because I'm indecisive, and I ran into my guitarist Lou from back in Shrapnel, who was holding a stack of flyers that said metal bassist wanted.
Oh, there you go.
So I said, oh shit, what's this? I really wasn't in a band, I wasn't playing much, just kind of doing my own thing. I was like, oh yeah! What are you doing after this? So I went to Lou's and I was their bassist. And I walk into, I got this new band. Well, when you left Shrapnel, we replaced you with bass with this guy Nick Wishbow. And then we replaced you on vocals with this guy Tom. But we didn't like how he screamed, so we kicked him out. Like, all right. Well, we got Tom in this because we want to do a different approach. So I walk into this room and I see Lou, Caleb, and this guy Tom. So this is my high school band with a new singer, which I was really interested in. It's like, all right, I just get to lay back, play bass.
Yeah.
Tom's got a King Diamond hat, and I had a Merciful Fate shirt. And we looked at each other, and we're like, oh! And we've pretty much been best friends since, which Lou didn't like. But Slaughter for Sanity played a couple shows. Yeah, we played CBGB's. We played Starland Ballroom with 40 Below Summer. Played Starland Ballroom again with God Forbid. And
Probably saw the
I had a
band.
lot of problems with Lou and got into a fight with him and got kicked out / quit. And they evolved into a band. Basically, Slaughter for Sanity kind of flaked out. Lou had some personal issues and he quit. So they replaced him with 2 new guitarists. And they took the band into a different direction and kicked Tom out, which is about the time I brought Tom back into Thanatotic Desire.
Right.
Now Caleb and Lou started another band called Name the Creature with a couple other guys. And Caleb quit. They got this guy Matt playing drums, who now plays for a band Circuitry.
Oh,
Matt
okay.
Guglielmo. He's an awesome drummer. But it's just so funny how these bands all evolved and what everyone's doing now.
Right.
Caleb's still a really good friend of mine, but he doesn't play anymore. And no one's heard from Lou since 2011. So that was Slaughter for Sanity, The Rise and Fall.
All right.
They had an album called 7 Shades of Death.
That's awesome.
It's brutal. It is brutal. But yeah, you saw the video. Yeah, we played CBGBs. There's 2 videos on YouTube that I put out. I had short hair. I had short-ass hair, and I'm headbanging, drinking beer underage. Good stuff.
So you also, until recently, played bass in Lethal Affection.
Yes.
But you announced just a few weeks ago that you were leaving. Can you elaborate on why that
Well,
occurred?
yeah. I mean, a couple of years. These guys are good friends of mine. You know, Joe lives almost in the same town as me. So, a couple of years ago, they had a bass player issue, and you know their bassist had to quit, and they had a bunch of shows scheduled. And I said, sure, I'll help you out, but I can only be in for a couple months because Thanatotic's going away, and we gotta, I won't be here.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. So, I was temporary, and from that point on, they were writing an album and kind of redeveloping themselves, and I really liked the direction they were going in. And I support them. I love those guys. They're awesome. But when I joined, they asked me to be full-time, and I was like, you know what? I asked their drummer, Cam, I was like, you're in a couple bands. He's also in Dropbox. He's in I forget
Dropbox?
Yeah.
With John Costco?
I think so. I could have that name wrong because I've been drinking, but no, he's also in Dead Wings, which is another band, but I think he's also in Dropbox.
Huh.
Dead Wings is the one I meant to say. But so I look at him, I was like, hey, how do you manage being in multiple bands? He goes, it's a piece of cake. I was like, all right, you know what? Let me do it. So I did it for a year. In that year, I wanted to see that. I basically wanted to join a band who's already established, has their merch, has their album, has a drive. It's kind of something like what Thanatotic Desire worked up to, and where Thanatotic Desire is. Somebody could walk in and the machine's moving.
Yeah.
The Lethal Affection machine still needs a little work, but I have full confidence when it is in full motion, it's going to do big things.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I just don't have the time to dedicate while kind of having a rejuvenated growth with Thanatotic Desire, because it's like, all right, we've talked retirement, but I don't think it's going to happen soon. And I see that as just more drive for us to keep doing what we're doing. And I'm also getting into photography. I'm actually doing short videos for private things. I'm getting into a lot of professional endeavors, and I just don't have the time to grind on the local level like Lethal Affection's doing.
Right.
Which, they're going to put the work in, they're going to work hard, and they're going to do big things. But I just can't be a part of it at the moment.
Okay. And you'd said, I think in your post, they've got an album coming out soon?
Yes. It's called Choose a Side, and it was mixed by Zeus, Chris Harris, who
nice.
recently just did Queen Strike, Rob Zombie. I mean, dude, Zeus has done so many albums.
I'm familiar with them.
I'm not on that album, actually. The bassist before me is on it.
Oh, okay.
So, I was promoting it. I still promote it. They're good stuff. I love those songs. It's fun. It's energetic. Good, solid rock and roll.
Yeah.
I believe it's coming out sometime this year.
Oh, well, I'll look forward to that because I've seen those guys both with and without you, and I dig them as much as you guys know me.
Yeah, man, no, you love music. You're
I think
a good music fan.
Charlie had said, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but Charlie said it. I try and be one of the biggest supporters in the scene.
You are. I guess, like you said before, we've seen each other at so many shows.
Yeah.
It's just insane. You gotta support. That's the only thing that keeps us all going.
Yeah. Well, that sort of brings me to my next question, and this is something that I've asked everyone on the show so far.
Okay.
Is what is your guys' opinion on the way that people look at music, the way that the general populace is like, oh well, we don't have to buy the music because the bands all make their shows they all make their money at shows. We'll buy a shirt at the show, we'll buy the ticket, we can steal the music, or we can fucking subscribe to Spotify. Like,
Spotify pays big.
but so what do you guys think about that? Like, is it everyone else so far has kind of said, that's bullshit. People don't know what they're talking about. Like, is the money in shows, or would the music industry benefit from more people actually buying the goddamn stuff?
Well, if you're on a label and your CDs are selling, you are getting a very small percentage of that. Your CD's getting into the hands of every single person, though, like Slipknot, for instance. I mean, I've read interviews where they were talking about how much they make off their albums, and it is not much.
Yeah.
But my grandmother knows who Slipknot is.
Right.
That is a big band. But they've said several times they don't make money off their albums.
Yeah.
They're making money off their merchandise. They're making money off ticket sales. They're making money off their name.
Right.
And that's something we've started to, as we travel, and it's like, oh, well, hey guys, you might get $100 tonight. Okay, let's hope people are there and buy merch.
Yeah.
And, it's hit or miss. I can't say every show's been great, but, a lot of times we walk off with a good chunk of merch money. I mean, Japan was, going back to Japan, how I was saying how they don't buy your stuff online. They knew who we were from the flyers, but they wouldn't buy it. I can ship anywhere in the world. Our store's set up. I've shipped to Europe plenty of times. They just waited, and they literally bought everything we had.
Wow.
We brought all our merch, and it's literally, that was early 2016. It wasn't till the end, like fall of 2016, for us to restock. Like just converting money and getting in touch with the artists, getting in touch with the CD pressing and stuff. Like, we took a hit, a great hit, a profitable hit, but that's really what makes me look at it on a global level. And I would like to hopefully say, of course, I'm one of 4 people, I would like to see Thanatotic Desire in South America and Europe as well in the next coming years.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
So that was, I guess maybe you sort of, the final question here is what's next?
What's on the horizon?
Yeah.
On the horizon for Thanatotic Desire.
I know you put out a new song.
We put out a song. We put out what's that song called? Land of the Free, Home of Our Grave. It's basically a patriotic song about how I don't care. I'm not going to choose a political side because I really don't agree with either left or right. However, it doesn't matter which side you're on. You're frustrated. Everybody's fucking frustrated with the way this country's run. The division has never been more clear. And it's really just, like, I'm an American. I am a Mayflower descendant through William Brewster. You can look that up. Okay. My name is William Brewster Winton II. William Brewster came here from Scotland on the Mayflower. That's how American I am. I got a lot of American pride. However, when I was 18, I couldn't go into the Marines and fight. Why? I didn't believe in what we were doing. It didn't seem right. I believe in the general benefit of humankind over the benefit of business and oil.
Right.
So, this song basically cry out for frustration. It's as close to a political song as you'll get from us.
Okay.
Because I don't like political songs because everybody's different.
Right.
I like music being the universal language, and that's how we benefited from Mexico, Canada, Japan. It doesn't matter what you're singing, metal brings you together. So, that was the song we released. As I said before, I've started a record label.
Yeah.
It's not anything big, but it's basically a name on all the hard work that I do to put out the albums we've already put out.
Right.
And I've had a couple artists actually approach me with willingness to give me a song for the Doc Watch Hollow compilation.
Nice.
Which I wanted to say is coming out this summer. It's a gamble right now because Thanatotic Desires with Murder in Mind is going to be coming out in September.
Oh.
That's the plan. I've been saying, I understand, I would love anybody to call me out because I've been saying this for 2 years that With Murder in Mind is going to come out. If you go to our SoundCloud, you will find a demo of Rise from the Embers from 2015. That was our single. That's the single we want to do a music video for and move forward with. Unfortunately, I did what I thought was right by trying to shop high and low, left and right, east and west as much as I could. So here we are. We are Thanatotic Desire. We're putting out With Murder in Mind on Doc Watch Hollow Entertainment.
All right.
This year, 2017. No bullshit, for real this time. It's happening. Because we have more shit past this we already have planned out. I'm going to have an EP after this album. Consisting of a blues song.
Okay.
Thanatotic Desire wrote a blues song. I'll tell you the name. It's called Breakfast with Satan.
Nice.
It's a hell of a song. And we got a guest saxophone solo, a guest harmonica solo.
There's going to be some.
There's going to be a guest piano solo, a guest fiddle solo. There's a drum solo, guitar solos. I still haven't laid down the bass solo, but it will be there.
Possibly even a French horn.
Maybe even a French fucking horn. And my buddy Tom from Death Wish and Slaughter for Sanity will be laying down the blues vocals for this banger.
Nice.
And on this CD, you're also going to see a cover song of Holy Wars.
Nice.
I'd like to include some more live stuff. We'll get into it more, but that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
Also, since we're on a roll, the release of With Murder in Mind isn't just going to be With Murder in Mind's audio CD. It's going to come with a bonus live DVD of Thanatotic Desire at the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Nice.
Yeah, multi-camera angle DVD. We had it filmed when we played there with Whiplash. Place was sold out. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be giving that out with the initial release of With Murder in Mind as well.
I'll have to make sure to get that.
So that's why we're, it's like, all right, we tried to do what we can. It's time to go into business for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the approach we're taking.
That sounds good, man. Do you guys have any other beyond tonight? You played already tonight, the Seas Awake farewell show. You guys have any other shows scheduled at the moment?
We got a few shows. Let me pull up my calendar since my memory ain't what it used to be. In June, we're not doing anything yet.
Okay.
But July 7th, we'll be playing St. Vitus in Brooklyn.
Oh, nice.
And then July 15th, we'll be playing at Dingbats with Darkest Hour and Havoc.
Oh, yeah, I
and
saw
Jesus
that.
Piece.
Why the fuck did I ask this question when I already knew there was...
This is a big one. This is a big one. I mean, we don't do Dingbats much anymore. It's just a matter of time for us. We want to make sure that when we do Dingbats, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Last time we played Dingbats was for Voodoo Terror Tribe's album release. It was an awesome show. Maybe a month ago, 2 months ago.
I was very... I gotta say, not to get off subject.
Sure.
But I was very confused by the whole album release concept since they had been selling that album the entire time they were on tour with El Nino.
Oh, I think that was the end of the tour, though, I believe. It was kind of like a coming home album release.
I don't know. I was confused by that because I was like, it's out already. I have it. I bought it.
Let's do a Death Wish album release. Silence to Violence came out 3 years ago. Let's go. No, whoa, shit. Before that, we played for the Doomsday Prophecy when they did their final show as well. So this is our second farewell show
I actually
tonight.
found, I don't remember where I found it, but I recently found a Doomsday Prophecy demo
They're awesome.
CD that
They're
they had
awesome.
given
They're
me
all
at
really good friends of
Dingbats.
mine. Those guys kick ass.
So you're playing, you have anything beyond the Darkest Hour show?
The only thing that we got on paper past the July show is the NYDM annual at Roxy and Dukes. And that's going to be... Oh, hold on a sec. That's going to be August 18th at Roxy and Dukes in Denellen, New Jersey.
Okay, I went there once.
That's a good time.
Who did I see there? I saw... I'm drawing a blank on the name of the band. I feel like an asshole.
I don't know. We played there last year. It was pretty cool.
I'll remember later. It was this singer from I Empire, his other band, his new
We'll come
band.
down a second. Podcast.
But yeah, that was the only time I'd ever been there.
Be right down.
But-
We're doing a podcast. I'll be right down. Sorry, dude.
No, that's all right. That's all right. We should get going.
Dude, this
before-
is awesome, man.
before
We
miss
can just
these
keep
awake.
going.
I don't know what time they go on, but I know that we don't want to miss them.
Oh shit! Video call.
Who's that?
This is all my boys on a video call.
Video call works great for an audio podcast.
That's my camera right there. I'm so
All right, yeah. No, I'm getting distracted here, Jay Bunny. I'm sorry about this.
No, that's all right. So you don't have any. So you show in August, and then you're hoping to put the album out. You said in September.
I'm hoping September.
That's awesome, dude.
September's where it's at.
And then I guess you guys will have some sort of CD release show of your
You
own.
can count on it.
All right. Well, I'll have to. As long as it doesn't, as long as it doesn't conflict with my Ren Fair.
Well, you better let me know when that is so I don't book it then. Because I think I know you won't be the only one who's
New
going.
York Renaissance Fair runs every
Up in
weekend.
Tuxedo.
Yeah, it runs every
Yeah.
weekend of August and September, and the first weekend of October.
Oh yeah, so that's all September.
Yeah, and
Oh no. So
there's
basically every weekend in September you're not there.
the fair gets out at 7. I mean, it depends on where it is. I can get there afterwards. I'll probably be in my pirate garb, which I've done before. I've gone to Beyond Visible shows in my pirate garb. At Dingbats. I showed up at Dingbats dressed as a
I think
pirate.
I've seen you there, Dingbat.
Yeah. So, well, that's great, man. I want to thank you for being on the
No,
show.
thank you very much for having us. You've been talking about it. I'm glad you can
Dave,
arrange
thank
it to
you.
happen.
Absolutely.
And I'll keep everybody informed as stuff is going on. We'll do another feature you guys on the What's New when the
Right
new
on.
album comes out.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. Let's go see what's going on
Thank you
with
for
Caesar
having us.
Wake.
Let's just check out the show.
Guided by the light, insanity inside, in a world that questions
All right, and from the album Silence to Violence, that was Final Breath by Thanatotic Desire. I want to thank Will and Dave for being on the show. You'll notice when you're listening to the episode, not watching, it's an audio podcast. When you're listening to the episode, you're looking at wherever it's posted. The photo, I normally take a photo with whoever was on the show. Didn't take the photo till the end of the night, and Dave had already left. So unfortunately, Dave is missing from the photo. Hopefully I can get a photo with Dave at a later time. But it was great having those guys on. Really look forward to what they got going on the rest of the year. As they mentioned, the show at Darkest Hour and release of their next album, hopefully in September. With Murder in Mind is going to be the name of the album. Now, at one point in the interview, you'll notice that Will had mentioned that Cam from Lethal Affection was in the band Dropbox, and I was a little confused by that. I questioned him about it, and then he wasn't sure. I've since looked it up, and Cameron Roselle, who is in Lethal Affection, is also in Dropbox. I didn't know that. I did know that Dropbox had recruited some new members, and they're working on a new album. I did not realize that Cam from Lethal Affection was their new drummer. So I'm hoping to get John Costco from Dropbox and also the band St. Kane. I'm hoping to have him on the show soon, and I can ask him about those lineup changes and whatnot. But I'm not sure when that's going to get scheduled. He's open to do it. We've talked about it. It's just a matter of getting the scheduling done, figuring out when we're going to do that. So I don't have a next show planned yet. Like I've said before, the show isn't really on any kind of schedule. I want to try and get it done once a week, but I don't have anything booked for next week as of yet. But that may change. And I do have stuff. on the horizon. I've got a couple of interviews. I've got an interview booked for mid-June. I've got some stuff probably coming up in August or September. I've got some emails out looking for guests, just waiting for replies. So big things may be coming. We'll see. But in the meantime, guys, you can follow us on all of our social media here. You can join the J Bunny's Music Hub group on Facebook or like the page. Just search J Bunny's Music Hub. You can follow at J Bunny Music Hub on Twitter. You can email us, jbunnymusichub@gmail.com, with any suggestions, feedback, etc. You could leave comments. J Bunny Music Hub YouTube channel. I did post, you'll notice, I've mentioned before in interviews, but it came up in this interview with Will and Dave, going on there with Jose Mangan. I did post that to my YouTube channel. So look up J Bunny Music Hub on YouTube, and you'll get to hear me on air with Jose Mangan on Liquid Metal about 2 years ago. If you got 5 minutes to spare. Also, don't forget Industry Embers, Buy Music, or it's Buy Music. You can follow Industry Embers on Twitter at Industry Embers, and find us on Facebook as well. Don't forget also that this podcast is now a part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. So you can follow Club Kayfabe creative community on Twitter at CKCC Online. You can also find us on the web, CKCC Online. Now, the website is still work in progress, so there's not a whole lot there yet. Chris O'Mealy is working on it, but keep an eye out, because there's other great shows that are part of this network, part of this community. So you should check it out. Now, as I mentioned in the last show, we're going to start doing 2 songs an episode. So to close out this episode, I've got another song that Will mentioned in the interview. It's Land of the Free, Home of Our Grave. It's going to be on their new album With Murder in Mind when that comes out, I assume. But in the meantime, it's available for free download on their website. So until next time, guys, this is Thanatotic Desire with Land of the Free, Home of Our Grave. Catch you next time, guys.
Control, decided on the ball.